Okay, so picture this. You're in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
right smack in the middle of a natural disaster, something bad, a hurricane or an earthquake, and the cell towers are down,
Oh no, it happens all the time in those situations.
and you need to get help.
It is a disaster and a dangerous situation, and you gotta reach somebody.
So you pull out your phone and somehow you manage to send a text and it goes through
Whoa, hold on. How'd you do that?
the satellites.
Satellites, okay.
Welcome to Technically You. Today we're going to be covering an interesting topic.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm looking at some of the articles right now.
Yeah, today we're talking about Starlink Direct to Cell,
You mean like Elon Musk's Starlink?
the one and only.
That's wild. So, you're telling me with this Starlink direct to cell thing, I could be cut off from the world with towers are down, zero signal bars, but I can still send a text because my phone is connecting to a satellite.
That's the idea, and we're going to break down how it all works today.
Awesome. I am so in. Let's do this.
This is for anyone who wants to stay connected no matter what and no matter where.
Especially in an emergency. That's a game changer.
So what exactly is this Starlink Direct to Cell?
It's a service that lets your phone connect directly to Starlink's network of satellites.
Hold on. So my phone is actually talking to a satellite up in space?
Exactly.
No way. So do I need a special kind of phone or app for this?
That's the best part. You don't. It works with your regular LTE phone.
So no need for some fancy futuristic phone.
Nope. Your current phone will do just fine.
That's pretty amazing and it's pretty cool, but how does that even work? My phone's talking to a satellite hundreds of kilometers above me?
It's not as complicated as you might think. Imagine those satellites as cell towers in space.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
They have these special modems on board called Inode BS.
I know BS. What now?
Inode BBS. They basically act as cell towers, but they're up in orbit.
Ah, so my phone thinks it's talking to a regular cell tower.
Yeah, and the cool thing is they use the same 4G LTE protocols your phone already uses.
So there's no need for a whole new communication system.
Not at all. It's built on the technology we already have.
That makes sense. But I bet there were some serious challenges to make this happen.
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest is distance.
Right. Those signals have a long way to travel.
Exactly, and that means latency and delay.
And that can be a problem for real-time communication.
Huge problem. And then you've got the Doppler effect to deal with.
You mean like that sound a siren makes as it drives past you?
You got it. That's the Doppler effect. The frequency of a signal changes as the source moves relative to the receiver.
And in this case, the satellite's moving pretty fast.
Very fast. Let's say about 7.7 kilometers a second. So Starlink had to develop some clever ways to counteract these issues.
It's mind-boggling how they figured it all out.
It really is a testament to their engineering prowess.
Speaking of mind-boggling, I read they use lasers to connect these satellites.
They do. It's incredible.
Lasers in space? I mean, come on.
It sounds like science fiction, but it's real.
So why use lasers? What's the advantage?
Speed and bandwidth. Lasers can transmit data between those satellites incredibly fast.
So it's like having fiber optic cables, but in space.
Precisely, and that's crucial when you're talking about potentially millions of users.
That's a lot of data flying around.
Yeah, and the laser network makes it possible to handle that volume.
So where can people actually get their hands on this Starlink Direct to Cell right now?
Well, it's still early days.
Right, I figured. It's not something I could just sign up for yet.
Not quite. It's currently in beta testing with T-Mobile and only in the US.
So it's limited to a certain group of users for now.
But the fact they're testing with both Android and iPhones is promising.
That's a good sign for wider compatibility and distribution down the road.
Absolutely. It means they're thinking about making it accessible to as many people as possible.
That's good news. But I imagine the focus right now is on text messaging.
You're right. The beta is primarily about getting text messages through.
But I bet voice and data are in the works.
Oh, absolutely. They're on the roadmap. Yeah, voice calls and data are definitely coming.
It's only a matter of time.
Exactly. So picture this. You're in an area hit by a hurricane. Cell towers are down. you're worried about your family.
That's a nightmare scenario.
It is. But with Starlink Direct to Cell, you can still send a text to let them know you're safe.
Wow, that peace of mind is invaluable.
It could be a literal lifeline in those situations.
I remember reading about Hurricane Helene last year.
Yeah. The FCC granted emergency authorization for Starlink and T-Mobile to provide connectivity when?
The traditional networks failed.
Exactly. It was a real-world test of
The technology, and it proved it can work in those critical moments.
that's the power of this technology.
It's not just for emergencies either, right?
You're right. Think about rural or remote areas.
Places where cell service is spotty or non-existent.
Exactly. This could bring them online.
It could open up access to education, telehealth, economic opportunities.
Things that many of us take for granted.
It's amazing to think about how this technology could bridge those gaps.
It really has the potential to change lives.
It makes you wonder how it might.
Change your own life if it becomes widely available. So, listeners, with this service, would you feel more prepared in an emergency?
Would it change how you think about traveling or working?
Food for thought. Starlink Direct to Cell is blurring the lines of how we connect.
Like, it's a glimpse into the future of connectivity, and
The possibilities are pretty exciting.
no doubt about it.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us in this discussion into the world of Starlink's Direct to Cell. We hope you've learned something new and are as excited as we are about the creative possibilities that lie ahead.
So keep learning and stay curious. See you next time.